Hello, America. Let's talk. Good evening. It's November the 17th, 2025, 8 o'clock Central. And I'm Professor Toto. And I want to have a heart-to-heart talk with all patriots, MAGA people, I tell you what, anybody that can think. Tonight's talk, this is not really my normal podcast. That would be tomorrow night at 7 Central when I do Professor Toto's class. But tonight, I just need to talk to you and hopefully awaken some reasonable thinkers. So let's go ahead and hit the share button, because everybody that loves truth needs to come in here tonight and have a talk with me. I'm going to be watching your comments tonight because I'm interested in hearing your thoughts, your opinions. But it all has to do with today's headlines, which on every news channel, the headlines have been that Donald Trump has reversed course on the Epstein files, and that suddenly Donald Trump has decided, to now allow the release of the Epstein files. He's telling the Republicans to vote tomorrow. In a few hours, there will be a vote in the House of Representatives to release all DOJ files, every one of them, hundreds of thousands, will hit the street within 30 days if they vote tomorrow to do so. Now, the things I have to say tonight is going to require you to think. And so please stay with me all the way through. The first thing I want to destroy tonight, Donald Trump has not changed his opinion at all. It was Donald Trump in the month of July that issued the order to release all of the investigative documents that was shown to the grand jury. That was in July. 2 judges, Obama-appointed judges, stopped it. Donald Trump has never been against releasing these files, but he always added a certain caveat, and it was this: pending court approval. And then the courts did not approve it. So Donald Trump has not changed courses. Number 2, there's another lie that I want to obliterate tonight. This lie that Donald Trump made a campaign promise to release the Epstein files. If there's anybody watching me tonight that's ever said that, you're wrong. Tonight I was listening to the Fox 5, or the 5 on Fox, and I heard them talking about Donald Trump's campaign promise to release the Epstein files. There's a problem with that. No such promise was ever made. It's all made up hash. It's lies. Let me cut through the static. Trump never made, out of 2 years of campaigning, at his campaign rallies, the name Jeffrey Epstein never mentioned. Not one time did Donald Trump make a campaign promise to release the Epstein files. No, seriously. I brought the receipts. I have the receipts tonight. It is time for us to find the truth on these matters. Not one time, not in a rally, not in a speech, not on his website, and no policy papers. This whole, he promised us the list. That's hot air. That's hot air. And the receipts don't lie. I'm going to give you the only 2 times Donald Trump ever talked about Jeffrey Epstein. Okay? I hope everybody's doing great tonight, by the way. Good evening to all of you. Virginia Guarliardo, Shirley Strickland, welcome every one of you. Thank you for joining. Would you hit that share button, please? Do it now. I want everyone to tune in tonight just to hear me tell the truth, all right? So twice Donald Trump mentioned Jeffrey Epstein. It was an interview with Rachel Campo Duffy. She asked Donald Trump these words: would you declassify the Epstein files? Trump responds, yeah, I would. But here's the part they edit out. Here's the part that no one heard. Right after he said, yeah, he was put on the spot. You know, Donald Trump interviews and he's on the fly. He said, yeah, I would. He said, I guess I would. Okay. Now, why is he saying, I guess I would? He'll tell you why he said that. He said, I think that because you don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff. And there's a lot of phony stuff in that whole world. So that was it. That was this big campaign promise. That was it. That was it. And this big campaign promise, I'll quote it to you one more time. And by the way, if you were a subscriber to my free daily blog, you would already know all this. They're called T drops for Toto drops. If you're not subscribed, it's in the description box. I'm on Substack, Professor Toto. I'm going to repeat it again. Yeah, I would. Well, I guess I would. I think that, well, you don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony. And there's a lot of phony stuff in that world. So, what do you hear out of that? Here's what I hear. Yeah, I would, but wait a minute. Now that I'm thinking about it, I have a role as a defender of the Constitution, of law and order. I have a job that I need. Wait a minute. He said, wait, let me think about this. Hold on now. What if we released all that and it destroyed a lot of innocent people? So basically, there's your campaign promise. Yeah, I would, but well, maybe I better not. And that's when he finally said pending court approval. Now, he mentioned Jeffrey Epstein's name one other time. September 2024, he was on the Lex Friedman podcast. And Friedman said, let's talk about this mysterious client list. And Trump said, I would be inclined to do it. He said, I'd certainly take a look at it, but I'd be inclined to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, those are not promises. Those are preliminary impressions in a hypothetical conversation. I need somebody to tell me how, in the name of all that is holy, that those are campaign promises. Now, I'll be happy to tell you what his campaign promises were. Border security, inflation, crime, energy. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Restoring American credibility. That's what he lived. That's what he breathed. And that's what he fought. Show me one rally. Anybody watching me right now, find me one rally where Donald Trump thundered about the Epstein files, and I will capitulate publicly. Show me one moment where he ever made Jeffrey Epstein part of his campaign. You can't do it because I'm a better researcher than most of you. Okay? I've already done the research. Where did we get it from that this was a campaign promise? It's not. Okay? Now, let me try to explain to you tonight If I may, please hit that share button. We need people. I need truth, people that loves truth to get in here. I'm going to explain to you what made Donald Trump pause when he said, yeah, I would, but wait a minute. Let me show you where that but wait a minute comes from. Before we go a step further tonight, any further, let's stop. Every one of us, come on, you're smart people, and I want you to think about something. How many of you watching me as a citizen of the United States of America, because there's a bunch of junk going around on Facebook, okay? One of the junk things that's going around is called We the People. We demand to see the files. We have a right to see the files. No, you don't. I don't know where you got that from. I'll prove it to you. How many of you watching me right now could go down to your local district attorney's office and demand to see his investigative files? How many of you? Anybody? Anybody watching me right now that knows so much can walk down to the DA's office. Pam Bondi is the DA of the whole nation. But just go to your local DA and say, I'm here. I want to see every witness interview in an ongoing investigation. I want to see every piece of evidence collected on everybody, whether you charged them or not. I want to see them. Bless God, I'm a taxpayer, and I got every lowdown right to see them. I demand to see them. I'm here for justice. I'm here for the victims. I want to see every victim statement, every confidential informant report. I want to see every surveillance video, every wiretap, every piece of raw intelligence. Can any of you do that? I'm waiting on an answer. Debbie Pickering Nichols says you cannot do that. Marcia Kuhn says none of us could. Donna Radney, she's so smart. She said, if we could, what would we do with them anyway? Now, stay with me. I would encourage you now, if you don't have the ability to think, you're not going to be able to handle this tonight. The rest of you hang tight. Of course you cannot. If you tried, security would escort you out, because what you're demanding is insane and it is illegal. And this is exactly what Americans, including many of you tonight, are demanding. You are demanding that the Department of Justice override all of their procedure and their protocol to give you the files. Now, for the first time in 5 years, I have seen a crack in Donald Trump's armor. I've never seen one before yesterday. When Donald Trump capitulated to the mob, Marjorie Taylor Greene, all the people that are demanding these files, for the first time in 5 years, I was disappointed in my president. He's still my president. I'd still fight and take a bullet to support my president. I'm disappointed. It's the first time I've ever been disappointed. Now, everybody else is happy with him. All the news media is happy, right? Everybody's elated, and I'm not. I don't know why I seem to be the only man in America that's not happy about this, but I'm not happy about it, because I elected Donald Trump to restore law and order, okay? Now, I'm not mad at Donald Trump, and I understand why he did it. Because the more things change, the more they stay the same. This very thing happened 2,000 years ago. Donald Trump has simply, what Donald Trump did yesterday when he said to the Republicans, vote to release them, here's what he did. He washed his hands of what he was trying to protect. If you want to understand this moment, you don't need a political science degree, you just need a Bible. Pontius Pilate was the government. He had all the authority to prosecute criminals. He had the responsibility to issue justice, to be fair, impartial, go with the evidence. And Pontius Pilate had the files. Yes, he did. He had seen them all. And the criminal in the case, his name was Jesus Christ, or Yeshua, the Messiah. He was the accused criminal. And the government looked at all the files that the Pharisees brought to them. The Pharisees brought this file and said, look, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. And Pilate looked at it unbiasedly, just according to the law, to see if he could prosecute Jesus Christ, to see if there was a there. And so here comes the government, Pontius Pilate, and makes a decree. Are you ready for their decree? We don't have the evidence to prosecute this man. We find no fault. We are the arbiter of justice, and we found no cause to prosecute him. Now, in the normal world, everybody would have went home and said, well, okay, we'll pray for we'll pray for another day. But not that day. On that day, the crowd did not care for non-biased judgment. The mob wanted a spectacle, and they wanted a villain. They wanted a name. They wanted a body. They demanded the government override its own findings. They demanded blood. They didn't want justice. They wanted a spectacle. They didn't want justice. They wanted blood. And many of you right now that claim the only reason you want to see these files is because you want justice, I say you're wrong. If you wanted justice, you would have placed your faith in the Department of Justice that you elected. But Pilate could not stand his ground. He could not defend the innocent against the crowd. So what did he do? You saw it yesterday. Donald Trump called up the Republicans in the House of Representatives. You know what Donald Trump said? I have tried to protect what's about to happen. I've tried to protect innocent people that when these documents hit the city square, it's going to destroy. I've tried. But the people will not honor our findings, so I washed my hand. Donald Trump has spent years resisting political witch hunts, but he stepped up to the basin yesterday. A man that fought to protect law and order, and with one statement, release the files. He washed his hands, not because it's right. It was wrong. Donald Trump failed yesterday. Not because it's constitutional, because it's not, but because you demanded blood. And that's the crack in his armor. First one I've seen. I've never, ever thought I would see him give in to the crowd. Mr. President, you did not bend under Rob Mueller. You didn't buckle under impeachment. You didn't break when the FBI raided your home. Do not break for this. Do not trade law and order for street justice, because this is not about Epstein. This is about whether America remains a nation of law or becomes a nation of mobs. Listen to me, America. You have no right to override justice. I'm going to show you what this is like. Your neighbor, Bob, he gets investigated for 6 months. The FBI finds nothing. No charges filed. Do you know why no charges are filed? Bob may have done a lot of things wrong, but those FBI agents know that they have to convince a jury beyond a reasonable, listen to me, beyond a reasonable doubt. They have to convince a jury. They have to spend millions and millions of taxpayer dollars to convince that jury. So they investigate your neighbor Bob for 6 months. Yes, his name showed up in some bad places. But you know what? They realize they cannot prosecute. They don't have enough evidence. And they don't charge your neighbor Bob. According to the Constitution, your neighbor Bob has the right to go on with his life. However, a few months later, the file goes public. And the headlines say, Bob, your neighbor, is being investigated he was investigated for embezzlement. Now, suddenly, nobody knew about Bob before this leak. Nobody knew about Bob before the file went public. And Bob is an innocent man. Bob deserves for no one to know his name. But after today, his life is over. His job, his reputation destroyed, his employment terminated. And I ask every one of you watching me tonight, is that justice? Quit saying you believe in justice. Justice comes through the duly elected Department of Justice, whether you like the results or not. Why would any witness ever cooperate if they know their statements might be released to satisfy political pressure? This is why grand jury materials are secret. This is why prosecutorial files are confidential, not to hide things, but to preserve the fabric of justice itself. Now, let's talk about we the people. Well, Professor Toto, we have a right to know. No, you don't. Where do you get that you have a right to know what's happening in the halls of justice? Because we the people. No, you're not. I'm fixing to destroy that entire we the people thing in the next 3 minutes, okay? So prepare yourself, because it's not going to feel good. The education you're about to get is not going to feel good. Listen, I don't believe we want justice. I believe we want blood. The Democrats want to find something about Trump that's not there. That's why, Trump said, look, Trump finally showed what a real, look, here. There's nothing in there about me. I couldn't care less. I'm trying to protect other people whose lives are going to be destroyed. Now, Rhonda Ray asked a great question. We the people, let's talk about it. When the Constitution talks about we the people, it's not talking about you. In the eyes of the Constitution, you as an individual do not exist in we the people. No, because our government is a representative government. We the people are those people sitting in the House of Representatives. You are represented in them. They represent you. And the moment you cast your lot and elect a representative, you have given away, you have created a proxy. You no longer exist in the eyes of the Constitution. What exists is the one person that represents everyone in your district. Okay? Those files belong to Congress. They don't belong to you. They belong to your representatives, not you individually, not the Twitter mob, your elected representatives, and the president that we chose to appoint a Justice Department. That's how a republic works. We created government to protect us from ourselves. The founders knew that we, the people, when whipped into a frenzy, are perfectly capable of destroying innocent lives and shredding people's rights. Do you know that the Salem witch trials was not conducted by tyrants? They were conducted by who? We, the people. Lynch mobs were not ordered by dictators. They were carried out by we, the people. That's why we have grand jury secrecy, so we, the people, don't know anything, so that we do not go to the streets for vigilante justice. That's why prosecutors, we empower them to make discretionary decisions. Pam Bondi has full constitutional power to say, I've looked at the files, and yes, there's some ugly stuff in here, but where we have a picture, we don't have a witness. We don't have this, we don't have that. I'm not willing to go to trial and be embarrassed in front of the whole world and turn this into a circus and leave out with the people we charge going home scot-free. That is her right by our Constitution. Prosecutorial discretion, judicial review, constitutional protections that protect us from ourselves. For decades, my greatest fear has been judicial tyranny. Activist judges legislating from the bench. But after today, that's not my fear anymore. My greatest fear is citizen tyranny. The mob overriding constitutional protections. Do you understand? When these files hit the street, do you grasp that lives are going to be shattered because we did not trust our president? And he tried. Hey, before he washed his hand, do you know what that was yesterday when he said, release the file? Pilate washed his hands so that you and I could have the satisfaction of reading hundreds of thousands of documents that we have no idea what we're reading. But hey, it's what we want. It's what he promised us. No, it is not. Our representatives are caving in to us, giving in to the loudest voices in the room, not the rightest voices, not the wisest voices, the loudest voices. And here's a dirty secret. Most Americans, I'm going to tell you the truth tonight. Most Americans, we couldn't care less about the Epstein files. They don't affect our lives one way or the other. So it's not the American people that's demanding this. It's the loudest voices in the room, and that's not how a republic is supposed to work. Here's how I lived my life. I voted, I cast a vote for the executive office. I said, I trust this man. He gets my vote. And I give to him my right to see the evidence. And his cabinet that he chooses, that's how justice works. What we're looking at tonight is the tyranny of the minority. The reason I'm on this microphone tonight, I'm a believer in the republic, not democracy. You are watching democracy unfold before your eyes. You see, 10,000 voices can get on Twitter and make it sound like 100 million. A discharge petition with 218 signatures gets treated like that's the will of the people. No, it's the will of the loudest people. And that scares me to death. Our founding fathers created a government that would never give in to the will of the loudest people. Let me be clear with you tonight about release the Epstein files, what that means. Are you ready? Attorney General Pam Bondi stated there are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn, and there are hundreds of victims. So the mob is demanding all this child exploitation material. We want to see all the victim interviews. How disgusting are you? You really want to read this stuff? That's why we have prosecutors, so they can do that dirty work of seeing the dredges of society. I'm sorry, I don't want to read anything Epstein did. And nobody else. I don't want to see it. I don't want to read of what he did to children. I shouldn't have to. I'm not the Justice Department. Do you know what's going to be released in those Epstein files? Witness statements. Now listen, you say, oh no, they wouldn't do that. No. We're demanding not selective release. We're demanding everything. Everybody on the news is saying, let it all out there. Really? Is that where we are now? Let it all out. Do you know that the names of every person that was investigated is going to be in that release? Do you know that? I know it makes some of you happy. That's what's wrong with America. The names of every person that was investigated and cleared now go up for public domain, whether they were charged or not. That scares me to death. Let's just think about what I said. Let's just say that your name, Samantha Smith, let's just say Tammy Slagle. Thank you, Tammy Slagle. She said, Pastor Vaughn has enlightened me tonight. Thank you. Ginger Patton, you're right. People are nosy. Let's just say tonight, Mary Spear, that your name is in that Epstein file. Not because you did anything wrong, but because you met Epstein one time. You had no idea what was going on. And he had you clean his house for 6 months. You was a temporary worker and you got investigated. You didn't do anything wrong. And now suddenly your name's going to be in the streets that you were there. Now your name goes public. Your life is over. Doesn't matter that you're innocent. The mob has spoken. So Professor Toto, what should Donald Trump have done? I'm glad you asked. And if I was his counselor, here's what I would have told him. I'd have said, Mr. Trump, your speech needs to start like this. My fellow Americans, I understand your anger. Jeffrey Epstein was a monster. But I took an oath to defend the Constitution. And that Constitution protects investigative files to shield victims, protect witnesses, and preserve the presumption of innocence. That's in the Constitution. I would have said 2,000 years ago, Pontius Pilate had files on an innocent man. He knew the truth. But when the mob demanded blood, he washed his hands. And history remembers him today as a coward. But remember, my friend, on the day he did it, Pontius was a hero. Can you let that percolate in your mind a minute? On that day, he was a hero. History says he was a coward because he knew the truth. I would have said, Mr. Trump, tell the people, I will not be Pilate. I will not wash my hands of a constitutional responsibility. Even if you think I made a campaign promise, my oath is greater than my promise. Mr. President, I would have told him to say this. If you want to punish the Epstein associates, and we all do, then charge them. Try them. Convict them through the legal system with due process. But I will not throw open investigative files and let the mob dispense street justice. I would have told him to say this. We are Americans. We believe in law and order, not trial by Twitter, not guilt by association, not mob rule. And Mr. Trump, I would have told you to finish your speech with these words. I'd rather disappoint my supporters than betray my oath. That would have been real leadership. That would have been refusing to be Pilate. Instead, he caved. First time I'm disappointed in him in 5 years. You're a fighter, President Trump. You're not a wuss. Unwash your hands. Don't give away innocent people to the crowd. Let wisdom guide you. The voice of reason is very rare. I don't hear what I'm saying. I don't hear nobody saying it nowhere. I've gone through every podcast. Nobody's saying what I'm saying. And sometimes I look around and I say, God, hit me in the head. What's wrong? What am I? But somebody has to tell the truth. There must be a clarion voice that tells you, my fellow Americans, shame on you. Your founding fathers would weep at what we're doing right now. If the Congress decides tomorrow's the vote, that they can force the Department of Justice to release investigative files, and they're going to. Trump authorized it. If that happens anytime the public demands it, what stops them from doing that to you? The protections are gone. It's over. Justice is over. Don't like your political opponent? Demand his investigative files. You want to destroy a competitor? Force the release of his investigative files. This is mob rule. They're calling it accountability, and it's the total opposite. It's not accountability. It's mob rule. Tomorrow's vote will likely pass, and when it does, constitutional protections become negotiable. Depends on the crowd. Victims tomorrow become collateral damage tomorrow. Oh, they're going to redact their names. Dude, hold on. Wait a minute. Are you that? Look at me. Look at my blue eyes. Baby, you can redact the names all you want to. All you got to do is read around the names and figure out who they're talking. I mean, come on. Tomorrow, tomorrow in this nation, innocent Americans will be destroyed because they're no longer protected by law and order. We just told America the mob can override the law if it screams loud enough. I've spent 40 years in ministry. I've studied the scripture. I've studied history and civilizations. Civilizations do not collapse overnight. They rot from within. And I'm going to say something tonight. The rot, I thought the rot was in Washington, D.C. The rot is in us. They just represent it. Because in our willingness to abandon principle for passion, in our readiness to destroy constitutional protection to satisfy rage, Pilate thought he was making a political decision. Give them what they want. Keep the peace. Avoid the riot. It seemed reasonable at the time, but history said he's a coward. He could have saved an innocent man. This is how republics die. Not with a bang, but with applause. Tomorrow, you listen to me. When this passes, everyone but me will be clapping their hands. And I will sit here and pray for America. Because tomorrow the mob wins. They will applaud as the crowd demands blood. The files are coming. The files are coming. We're going to know everything. Everything you was not supposed to know. You will applaud as constitutional protections are stripped away. What is our choice? We can be a nation of laws where constitutional protections matter, where due process exists, where the innocent are protected. Or we can be a nation of mobs, where whoever screams the loudest gets to destroy whatever they target. But we can't get both. You heard me? We can't have both. The House votes tomorrow. The crack has appeared in Trump's armor. And unless we choose for stand for constitutional principles over mob justice, the armor will shatter tomorrow. And with it, the rule of law in America will fall to the ground while the nation applauds. Mark my words, you will not see anyone on the mainstream media tomorrow with any concern about what they see. The rabid dog is loose. Somebody said, well, Pastor Vaughn, what about the innocent children? What about them? What about them? Those children were born in a fallen world where sin abounds. Do you understand, beloved friend of mine? If you think for 1 second that there is justice in this world without the return of Jesus Christ, Yeshua the Messiah, do you not understand these precious children that were harmed by this monster? They may get no justice in this world. I would love for them to, but it looks like they haven't so far. Do you think us unleashing these files is going to bring them any more justice? No, because here's why. There will be certain people that we will go, aha, there they are, but you can't get a conviction. What good did you do? But I give you my word. There will come a day when every child, every wrong will be made right. Every scar will be healed. Every pain will be healed. Until then, we do the best we can, but we do it by the law. Somebody has to say enough, and I'm that guy. It falls my lot to be the least popular of all the podcasters. I was hoping that Trump would not wash his hands. I was hoping he would stand where Pilate fell. But he didn't. So now it falls to me and you, the American patriot, to stand for law when everyone else demands blood, to defend due process when the mob wants destruction, to refuse to wash our hands. We will never give up law and order for the mob. It's not glamorous. What I'm doing tonight is not glamorous. Do you know how many people have already clicked off because they don't want to hear this? It's too reasonable. Makes too much sense. We prefer passion. Rabid animals. You know, we screamed about all those people in Minnesota. We called them animals when they were burning down buildings. Are we not burning down the Justice Department? Oh, yeah, we called them animals. They were turning cars over. They was blowing up buildings. Are we not doing the same thing? Are we not blowing up the decision of the Department of Justice? It's not popular. It won't get me any new followers, I promise you. But it's right. The voice of truth is undeniable. And it will never leave your head now. You made a mistake. You stayed too long. You listened. The voice of truth has a sound all of its own. 2,000 years ago, a government official washed his hands, condemned an innocent man to satisfy a mob. History remembers him as a coward. History remembers the mob as the murderers. History never remembers the mob as the righteous. But they believed they were righteous. And now you know the best of the story. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I just had to get that off my chest. I had to share that with you. Charmaine Adams. Thank you, Charmaine. Charmaine has called me pretty much a liar. She said I tell you what, I'm going to sit here, Charmaine. Here's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to play your game. No disrespect intended. You go find me where he said he would release them if elected, besides the two places that I mentioned tonight. You go find me that anywhere in a campaign rally, in a campaign speech, or on his political website, or anywhere. Go find it for me, and I will come back. I tell you what, I will just wait here. How about that? I don't take lightly to being called a liar. But I'll admit I did, if I did. So I'll wait here for you, Charmaine. You put it up on the screen. You put it up on the screen where he said he would definitely release them if elected. Okay? I'm going to sit right here. I'm going to sit right here. Thank you, Bishop Reed. Charmaine, I'm waiting. Oh, she said she would never call me a liar. Thank you, Charmaine. Then I take it back. She did say that he promised 110%, but he did not. Okay? If any of you are subscribers to my blog, I put all the receipts in my blog today. Okay? Go to my blog. The link is in the description box. Go subscribe. It's free. And I brought the receipts. 2 times he mentioned Jeffrey Epstein in 4 years. 2 times. 2 times. Charmaine, I love you right back. Thank you so much. All right. So Charmaine said she can. She needs to do some research. You're welcome, Lori Boudelier. Bless you, sister. So Charmaine, I tell you what I'll do. I'll just sit here for a few minutes. Email me. She has a video. Email me the video, Charmaine. brothervaughn@gmail.com. brothervaughn@gmail.com. I'll wait here for the video. I'll let it come to my email and we'll watch it together. He never campaigned on releasing the Epstein files. In 2 interviews, it was brought up. He answered twice. And so any one of you, thank you, Charmaine. She's been with me from the beginning. I love you, darling. I'm waiting on your video. Go ahead and email it to me. You don't have to wait. You can email it now. I'm sitting here. I don't really have a life. Okay, Charmaine. That's it. brothervaughn@gmail.com. Let's go look. I'm just going to sit here. I have nothing to do. I'm going to just sit here and wait for that. Somebody's got to tell the truth in this world. Oh, my Lord, 52 of you just signed up for my blog in the last 2 minutes. Thank you, because I went and checked my emails. Thank you all. My. Oh, and by the way, my brand new book is out, The Great American Gaslight, Why Joe Biden Will Never Be a Legitimate President. You go to thefakepresident.org and order your signed copy today. It's a collector's edition, all right? There's only 500 of this particular set, numbered and autographed. All right? So make sure. Thank you, Ken Bray. Good to see you tonight. Hello, Erling Oshbaugh. Okay, Charmaine, we're waiting on the video. And then I'll get off of here and let these good folks go to bed. Amen. One more time for those that came in late. If you want to find out that Donald Trump never campaigned on Epstein, go to my blog. Go to my blog at Substack. Look for Professor Toto. Subscribe free of charge. And read my last blog where I brought you the 2 video clips or the 2 video interviews. The only time Epstein was ever mentioned. All right. So anyway, all right. God bless you. Boom, 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 boom. Tomorrow night is my regular class, 7 o'clock Central. 7 o'clock Central tomorrow night on Rumble, YuckTube, Roku. If you don't have our Roku channel, download it. First Harvest Ministries. Just go to Roku, go to your search button, and type in First, F-I-R-S-T, Harvest Ministries. Download our Roku channel. Watch us on the big screen. I have 2,200 sermons archived there and Toto shows. Moses Lima, I will be on tomorrow. I definitely will, 7 o'clock Central. Tomorrow night, I will be there at tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Central. And if you don't have our app on your phone, you can download our app. First Harvest Ministries. First Harvest Ministries. All right. Charmaine, I've checked my email. I don't have anything yet. I'm checking my spam folder. Da 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 da. Nothing in my spam folder. Nothing in my main folder. brothervaughn@gmail.com. Let me check spam one more time. All I've got in spam is congratulations. We have your $1 million check waiting. I love it. Just click here to accept it. Oh, man. All right. Let's see. Let me go back to my regular inbox. Still nothing, Charmaine. Let me refresh. Nope. But 13 more subscribers to my blog. Thank you. Let's see. Charmaine, I don't have any. Let me check my promotions folder. Nothing there. My social folder. Nothing there. Nell Sampson. No, that's somebody that just subscribed. Okay. I don't have anything yet. So I tell you what I'll do. When I get off, I'll wait for it. If I get it, I'll come back on live and address it. And thank you all for joining me tonight. The only reason I'm calling Charmaine out, it's not out of rudeness. I'm not trying to be cruel. I appreciate her for watching me all these years. That's correct, Charmaine Adams. It's Brother Vaughn. That's spelled correctly at gmail.com. I'm only doing it because I want everyone confident in the truth that you learn at the Conservative College. I just refreshed my screen again. If you send a video, it may be taking a long time to come through. I don't know. But if I was on Restream, I would share my screen with you and let you see that I don't have anything yet. But that's what we'll do. We'll come back. And for those that want to share this without all of the end talk and all of the, I'm going to go edit it real quick, upload it to YouTube so you can start sharing this truth with everyone you know. Yeah, if you have a link, you can just post it right here for everybody. Okay. Well, all right. God bless you. I hope you learned something tonight. Let me check my email one more time before I say good night. Still nothing. Lots of Substack subscriptions, and by the way, for those of you that's trying to subscribe, sometimes it looks like you have to pay for a subscription. All you have to do is click no thank you. Look for no thank you, and that'll get you in free of charge. Substack, of course, is trying to get you to subscribe because they make a few pennies off of whatever we make. But anyway, I mean, over 1,000 if you have subscribed. Thank you very much. A paid subscription. I'm grateful, but you do not have to. You do not have to. A lot of people just do it to support my work. Mariela Lopez says, thank you for opening my eyes. You are welcome, Mariela. Diana Carter, I love you very much. You are welcome. Lisa Strenson is now subscribed to my Substack. Thank you. Vicki Harrison, thank you. God bless you. And Paula Marie, I don't know if that's the same Paula that I'm thinking of. Okay, thank you, Charmaine. She's going to post it after this live is over. Excellent. And I'll come back and address that. How about that? Fair enough? Excellent. Okay, is that the Paula Marie? Is that Paula Marie, the country singer? I don't know. May not be her. Anyway, if it is, I wanted to congratulate her on an award that she received at the Grand Ole Opry. And Charmaine says she stands on everything she says. So we are looking forward to that. Stacy Swan, you can subscribe at Substack. The link is in my description box above, okay? Go to the description box. You'll see a link to my blog. You can subscribe free of charge. And there's the link for my new book is there as well, called The Great American Gaslight, The Fake President.org. God bless every one of you. Let's see. I'm going to check one more time. Emails, refresh. Okay. All right. Just send that to me, Charmaine. I'll tell you what I'll do, Charmaine. Instead of coming back tonight, I'll address it on my podcast tomorrow night. How about that? At 7 o'clock. And we'll deal with anything that I'm not aware of. But Normally, I do pretty good research, but we'll definitely take a look at it. God bless you all. Good night, everybody. We appreciate you. Bye-bye.